Gotta Knit podcast.
Welcome, welcome. It's June the 20th?
Yeah.
Is that right?
June 20th.
Oh, yeah, and tonight a new show comes on TV called Yellowstone. It's Kevin Costner's first ever TV series.
Really?
Cannot wait to see it. It's about this big ranch at Yellowstone National Park. I think it's a 10-part miniseries.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super excited. Or maybe a series, I don't know, but there's 10 episodes this time. So super excited.
It's exciting.
So
this is Stitch 21, I think. I have some notes here. Yeah, Stitch 21. It's been about 3 weeks since we last podcast.
we actually are doing it on the day that we said we would on our
We
last.
are. We're doing what we said we were going to do.
Which is so uncommon for
It's
us.
very
to
uncommon
do
for
what we
us.
say we're going to do. So
And my apologies for whatever the camera was doing the last couple of times. I'm not sure if the distance between our bodies and the camera was like just borderline or something, because it would like try to zoom and then try and zoom out and it would just keep doing it over and over again. So we're on the iPad today.
I didn't notice that when I watched it back.
I did. Well, maybe it was just my editing.
Huh, I didn't
We'll
watch
probably
it.
jump back and forth until I figure out what works the best. But I don't want to make anybody sick out there watching. It was driving me crazy. So
Please don't get sick if you're watching this.
well, they might get sick for other reasons. It was driving me crazy. It was like going back and forth and back and forth. But yeah, no, don't get sick, please, please. So it's been about 3 weeks. How have your 3 weeks been?
It's been good. Things have been busy. Shyla and Tim closed on their house and got all moved in. And
That's exciting.
It's just beautiful. I'm just so happy for them. So they're all moved in. And Casey, our son, he's combining households with him and his girlfriend. And so Casey had Bruce, my husband's parents, so Casey and Shyla's grandparents, dining room set, and so it's a table, chairs, and a hutch. And when they passed away, Casey got that, and Shyla got the china that went in the hutch. Well, with Casey combining his household, he didn't have room for that table and chairs anymore, and he offered it to Shyla, and she was like thrilled, thrilled to get it. So he brought it down, and Casey is like a furniture maker, refinisher kind of person.
Is he now?
Yeah, he used to, like Kagan used to tell everybody when she was little, on Tuesdays, Daddy goes and digs through everybody's trash. Okay, he didn't actually do that, but what he did do was he would drive around the neighborhood, and if people were throwing out bar stools or a piece of furniture or something, he would take it and redo it, like take it apart and make something out of the wood or refinish. So he was a fixer-upper of other people's junk. That'll say one man's trash is another man's treasure. So he would do that, and so he had he brought Shyla a ton of stuff. He brought her the headboard he made for his bed, and this really cool corner shelving unit that he had in his bedroom. He brought that to her, and then the dining room set, and he brought her some bar stools that he made. I mean, he brought her a whole trailer full of stuff.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
But she was just so excited to get to put, her grandparents' china in her grandparents' hutch. So she was very excited about that.
With her grandparents' table. That's very exciting.
And
those heirlooms.
I had to tell you, she had her dog Levi, her chocolate lab. He had what they thought was a brown recluse spider bite on his foot, and he had this nasty wound on his foot. We don't think that's what it is, because now he's developed one on his back foot. We think it's just, we think he's got cancer, because he's got these tumors on him. And so we don't know if this is what, if it's like now exposing itself outwardly instead of just inwardly. But anyway, he's got this wound on his foot. But anyway, the funny part of this story is he had this cone. He was wearing this cone, and poor thing, he's chocolate lab, and Peyton was wanting to make flower petals around the cone so he would look like a daisy. But that was right in the middle of the move, and she didn't get that done. But he had to take all of this medicine, and Shyla would put his medicine in a peanut butter sandwich. Well, the day that we were moving, we had already packed a bunch of, packed all the peanut butter, packed the bread, so we didn't have anything to for her to give him his medicine. And I asked her, I said, do you have any cheese? And so she got some cheese out of the refrigerator, and she made this cheese ball for this dog that was I'm probably exaggerating, but it was about this big. It was huge. I mean, she was like mashing this cheese, and I mean, this thing was huge, but she put like 3 big peels in this cheese thing. So she gives it to him, and it was grated cheese that she was mashing up, okay? And she gave it to him, and he had cheese crumbles that fell down into that cone. Like, so the cone is right here. He has cheese right here, and he's like licking, trying to get to that cheese in that cone. It was just hilarious.
I could picture that being
Poor
hilarious.
thing. And then he would try to scratch his ear, and he'd scratch the cone, and it was just poor little thing.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Oh, but
speaking of dogs.
Oh yeah.
I have 2 new dogs in the family. I'll have to insert some pictures here because I have about 700 of them already. So I used to have 3 dogs. I used to have 4, but I lost my dachshund and a chihuahua a couple of years ago. And my dachshund was the best dog. She was a miniature dachshund, but she was the best dog ever. And recently, I've kind of been looking for another dog for Precious to have a playmate. Precious is my Yorkie, and she's the one dog I have left. And ever since I've had Precious, she's always had a dog there with her to play with. So for the last year and a half or 2, she's kind of been alone. And not that she doesn't do spoiled only child very well, because she does. I'd been thinking about it for months, about getting another dog. And Darlene's mother has a dog service company thing. And so one of her clients' mothers passed away, and the lady who passed away had 2 dachshunds at her house. And so the daughter of the lady who passed was looking for a good home for these 2 dachshunds. And so Darlene saw it on a Facebook post, and then she sent it to me, and she's like, have you seen this on my mom's Facebook? I said, no, I never saw that. And so we contacted her mother and the lady and made all these arrangements. And this past Sunday, Darlene and I drove to Fort Worth. They're in Oklahoma. We drove to Fort Worth about halfway for each of us and met at a Love's gas station for me to get the 2 dogs. And Precious was a little skeptical at first. The 2 dogs, the girl is about 4.5 and the boy is 4, something like that. The boy's name is Max, and I have renamed the girl's name to Pearl, P-U-R-L, as in Pearl. So they're doing fine. I've had them home a whole 3-4 days now. So,
so cute.
This is their 3rd full day, and they act like they have lived in that house forever.
They do, and they traveled so well. And I was telling Carrie, it was, boy, talk about bonding fast. But because, excuse me, when we left the Loves, I told Carrie, I said, I wonder if we had a rawhide or something for them, if they would want to chew on something, just maybe to settle them down, which they really didn't need to be settling down. But Carrie thought that was a good idea, so we went to a Walmart. Well, I stayed in the car with them so we could leave the car running, and Carrie went in. And when she went in, Max, the little boy dog, he whined from the time she got out of that car until she got back in. It was I mean, it was
kind of
cool,
weird.
but it was weird.
Cool,
I mean,
but it is kind of weird.
And then when she got back in, he quit whining, and they laid down and went to sleep. And then about halfway, we stopped at a rest side to get them out of the car and let them walk around and maybe potty and give them a drink of water. And then Carrie, I went to the bathroom, and she was walking the dogs. And then when I got back out there, I took the dogs, and she went in. And when she went in, Max went to whining and until he saw her walking out of the building. I thought, man, that dog just knows that
I'm the new mama.
That they are meant to be hers. And they just did so. I mean, they were not a problem traveling at all.
No, they were perfect.
They were great.
They were very, very good. Very good dogs to travel with. Not that I'm going to be travel with them in the future, but they made it home, and everything was great. And they finally got to meet Jaime last night.
Oh, what did he think?
Oh, he likes them, and Max can jump on the bed on his own. And so we were trying to watch TV or whatever. Max would jump on the bed and would get in our way or whatever. And I said, well, let's just go to the living room. Because sometimes we'll watch TV in the bedroom, and sometimes we'll watch TV in the living room. And So we just went to the living room, and then they pretty much sat with me the whole time. And so Precious doesn't normally get rawhides. She's just not a big rawhide dog. She hasn't been, and I guess maybe I just haven't been a rawhide owner. So these dogs came home with these rawhides, and of course I gave Precious one. I'm not gonna not give Precious one. But the dogs really weren't all that interested in their rawhides. They were more interested in, you know, seeing the house and sitting with me and, you know, the whole 9 years. Ever since these 2 new dogs have been there, as soon as one of Max or Pearl goes to a rawhide to mess with it, like they're gonna chew on it, and then they kind of like, yeah, I don't want that anymore, and they walk off. Precious thinks, I'm stealing it. I am stealing that from them. And then she'll take the rawhide and she'll go off over into her bed, and then she'll like eat on the rawhide. So she didn't even give Jaime any attention last night because she thought, I'm going to chew on this rawhide just to get it away from one of the other ones. There's like 4 of the rawhides laying on the ground. She could have had any of them. But
funny.
She just thinks that she has to steal one that they have touched.
She's a mess.
Yeah, so it was funny.
But they really did good. And the lady that, I was talking to my sister, and my sister told me that the dogs were gonna be, the lady that Carrie got them from wanted Mama to have them for a couple of weeks longer than what Mama actually had them, because she was doing some obedience training on them. Mm-hmm. So I asked my sister, I said, so that kind of concerned me. Like, what do they need? Are they biters, or, you know, why do they need obedience training? And Jerry said that all they really needed was to be taught to lead, because they weren't very well leash trained. And I told Jerry, I said, oh, well, we can come get them anytime, because I said, Carrie is not going to be walking those dogs, so they don't need, I said, just tell Mama that she don't need to be leash training them. But I thought they did pretty good on the leash.
I thought they did very well. They told us exactly where they wanted to go on those.
They led us exactly where they wanted us,
go,
and I thought they did good. But
now, I have a very large backyard. I think it's very large.
It's pretty big.
It's a pretty big backyard, and they have a doggy door they can go in and out of. So it's not like they're not going to get their exercise.
Hey, I don't want
They're just
my
not
dog
going to
either.
get their exercise with me.
So,
but I did get on the treadmill yesterday.
Did you? Good.
And Max was trying to figure out how he could get up there with me. I was just like, Max, just stay down. Just stay down. I'll be done in like 20 minutes, you know?
They are just the cutest things.
They are very, very cute. And I love them very much.
And Carrie, you know, like she said, she's been wanting a weenie dog for a long time, ever since, you know, after baby died. But she didn't want a puppy. She wanted rescue. She wanted to rescue a dog that needed a home. Well, there's a couple of problems with that. One problem is rescue organizations want almost $400 to rescue a dog.
Yes.
Okay, I realize they're trying to get serious people in there to get these dogs, but come on, that is a ridiculous price.
It is a ridiculous amount.
So,
and usually as soon as the pound gets a dachshund, they'll call the dachshund rescue and just say,
is that why they're always gone?
I think that's why they're always gone, because the pound is going to say, yes, it's going to go fast, but let's just give it to the dachshund people, let them find somebody for them, and then we have more room for somebody else.
Well, that makes sense, because I was just fixing to say, the other problem was every time we would see a dachshund on an animal shelter or Humane Society website, Carrie would call them and it would be gone. So, you know, this worked out perfect, and I'm so happy that
because
you have
she
them.
Really just wanted a good home for her mother's dogs to go to, and I just wanted a dog or dogs that just needed a home.
She really wanted one dog, but then she didn't want to like separate the two.
I didn't want to separate
them.
And
I'm glad.
And even though the lady told me, she says it's not a both or nothing deal. If you don't want them both, you don't have to take them both. But I think that would just be too traumatizing for them. They've already lost their mom, and you know, don't know why they lost their mom or where mom went. I don't want them to lose each other now. So I have them both, and I'm fine with it. And they're good dogs. They're good dogs. So.
A couple of weeks ago, Tim and Trenton and Peyton were in their annual rib cook-off in Castroville.
That sounds yummy.
And Tim got 4th. I asked him, I said, who won? And he said, Stupid Harold. His best friend's name is Harold. And Stupid Harold won. So, Stupid Harold. So,
was Stupid Harold using any of Tim's tricks?
I don't know. I don't know.
Might be interesting.
So.
The only other thing that I really had going on recently was Jaime and I went to the Rot. I think I told you guys we were about to go. We ran into a bunch of problems. So when we we got there. So out at the Rot Rally, it's at the Travis Expo Center in Austin. And so we go out there and we take there's Jaime's truck, and then Jaime has a pull RV, a small pull RV, and then behind that he had a small trailer to put his motorcycle on. He got a motorcycle, a new to him motorcycle for the rally, so he didn't have to take his bigger motorcycle. So we had all those. So when we got there, you have a spot that you've paid for, and then you get your spot number, and then you go and you pull your stuff in and line it up, and that's your spot for the week and the weekend, and you have your own generator to run power, and unless you've purchased a spot that has a generator. But anyway, so we got there, and Jaime looked at the RV trailer, the tires on the RV trailer, and one of them looked like it was about to pop, like on the turns and the corners, like the stitching was coming open. It didn't pop, and we were able to call a friend, Nick. He had not come out to the Rot yet, but we knew he was coming to see if he could pick us up a new tire. So one crisis over. And then on Thursday night, we were getting ready to go out. We had rented a 8-seater golf carts, and we had other friends there, and we were getting ready to like kind of go out for the night, for the little parade route and things of that nature. And our air conditioner stopped working, and Jaime said, "Did our air conditioner just stop working?" I said, "I think the generator must have run out of gas." And so he goes out to check the generator, and that generator's still running. And he comes in, and it's not blowing. And so the AC went out. It turns out that it was the blower motor that went out, not the compressor. I mean, Jaime had the thing torn apart. He was looking at breakers and wires, and he's a pretty handy man to have around. He kind of knows that kind of stuff. So he was looking at everything, and he realized it was the blower motor, and he says, "Let's just go get a hotel room for tonight, and then we'll come back tomorrow and pack everything up and go home." Because you can't stay there without an air conditioner.
It was just too hot.
And we've done it before with a tent without an air conditioner, and it's not something we ever wanted to experience again. And I said, "Jaime, what we're going to spend in a hotel room tonight, if we can even find a hotel room anywhere near us, because Austin was booked. They closed down 6th Street all for motorcycles on Friday night and stuff." So I said, we could just use that money and go and buy like a window unit. And it just so happened that Jacob, his oldest son, has recently been saying that his room gets the direct heat in the afternoon, and it's making the air conditioner work extra hard just to kind of cool off that one room when it gets the most heat. So like when it cools to what Jaime wants it in the living room, Jacob's room is still a few degrees warmer, and it's not what he wanted. So he's been talking about getting a window unit just for his room. So I said, what we're going to spend in a hotel room tonight, we can just go to Home Depot in the morning and get an AC unit. I was looking them up on homedepot.com or whatever and Googling, and that's what we ended up doing. We stayed the night. We borrowed an oscillating fan from a friend, and thankfully the night got to 74 that night. So this was the coolest evenings that we've ever had for a Rot Rally. And so it wasn't that bad that night. So we went the next morning, and we got the unit and put it in a window, and he wasn't installing it 100%, but he was put it there to last for the rest of the week. So then everything else went fine the rest of the week, and we come home on Sunday, and these people keep like pointing at us, like like honking and like telling us to get over. So we get over, and at first we had like this loose strap that was holding down the motorcycle. So Jaime fixed the loose strap, and we went on our way. We were into San Antonio city limits, and then again we had people like honking and waving us down and like pull over, the whole 9 yards. We had no clue what it was. So Jaime pulled off and pulled into a parking lot, and the outside bearing, I don't know anything about this, went out on the motorcycle trailer. So we had to call a friend, and he came and drove the motorcycle, and his girlfriend was driving his truck, and we put the motorcycle trailer in the bed of the truck, and then they followed us all home and everything. But that's probably the most problems we've ever had at a Rot Rally, just one thing after another. But we did enjoy it, and we did have a good time. So
well, good.
Thank
I know y'all had lots of problems.
We did. I did get my nails done just for the Rot, and like I tried for like a Harley orange, and these glow in the dark. But I'm about to get them redone because I'm tired of them, and they're driving me crazy.
They're really pretty though.
But they are pretty, and
I like them.
They glow in the dark, so I thought they were cute.
So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Walmart, which I hate going to anywhere. You know, I don't. But I needed to go get some things for vacation, and so while I was there, I needed to get some mascara. And you know, that Walmart, I thought I'll just grab it at Walmart, which is where I usually get my mascara. Well, the Walmarts here are starting to lock up all of their makeup, like behind lock and key.
That's crazy.
I was so frustrated because, okay, I know why they're doing it. I know that they're doing it because of theft and, you know, whatnot. But you know, if you're going to lock up everything, have an attendant in that area to unlock it.
I agree.
And there was this young guy that his girlfriend, wife, somebody asked him to get eyelash glue. And I helped him find the eyelash glue, and then it was like we stood there. Me and him stood there for about 20 minutes waiting on somebody to come unlock a cabinet. And this associate, she finally came. She had the wrong key.
Oh my goodness.
So she had to go get another key. And then this other lady, she came up and she was like, "Is somebody coming?" And I'm like, "I think so." And she said, "This is ridiculous." And she needed mascara also. And she told me, she said, I don't know if you know this, but if your mascara is running out, if you put like 4 or 5 eye drops in your mascara and then plunge it up and down, it'll make your mascara last for about another week.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's good to know. I'm gonna have to try that. But she said, I've already done that like 2 or 3 times, so I really need some.
I really need mascara now.
But you know, I was so frustrated, and it's like, okay, I understand that it's because of theft. But again, you know, have somebody in that area. But I think they're going to lose more in sales than they were losing in theft. And then, you know, Walmart's, so I don't understand people. So Walmart's locking up all this stuff and then putting in more and more self-checkouts. Okay, if you're going to steal it and you're going to go to, I mean, just because you lock it up is not going to keep you from stealing it. Especially you get it out of that cabinet and you go to your self-checkout. You know, and it just don't make a dang bit of sense to me. It's so frustrating. So we'll see how long that lasts. I kind of predict that in 6 months or a year, those locking cabinets are gone. But I could be wrong.
We'll
you know,
to see.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
But it's frustrating.
So, what you knitting on?
I am knitting on Paige's socks. You're welcome, Paige.
She is knitting on Paige's socks. Because she didn't have anything to knit on during the podcast.
I've been meaning to get some socks started, and I just hadn't had time.
But that's okay, because as long as she doesn't have anything started, she can just keep knitting on my socks. Last time, she knitted on Germany socks. This time, she's going to knit on Paige's socks.
And this is the most awesome yarn. It's Biscotti and C, and oh my gosh, it is Canadian-based. Soft.
It is super soft. It's the Biz Sock base, and it is very, very soft. My mother actually has a pair of socks in this yarn, not this colorway, a different I think it's a kiwi colorway, and my mom loves them, and she's like worn them down. And then, you know, of course I told you guys I was doing the Germany socks for her with that yarn from Jessica, and it's Regia, and I'm not trying to put Regia down by any means. I'm just saying it's not as soft as this Biscotti. I mean, not anywhere near as soft. So my mother had come over on Monday. I stayed home with my new dogs on Monday to make sure that they got acclimated to the house, and I was like, here's your socks, here's Paige's socks, this is what your green socks are made out of. And she goes, oh, it's a big difference. This is definitely softer. You know, so I'm not knitting on my mother's socks because I'm at the point where I'm about to bind off the cuff on this, and it needs more attention, and then I still need to do 2 afterthought heels, so I have 1 cut open. So those are still whips, but they should be finished objects by the next time that we podcast. And so I started Paige's socks, her toes, so I would have them to knit on.
Well, good.
Do you have anything else as a whip?
Yeah, I have. So I've been trying really, really hard to get Shannon's sweater finished by vacation, and I just don't think, not get it completely finished, but get the knitting pieces finished. And then all I'd have to do when I got home would block it and sew it together and do the collar, but I don't think it's going to happen. All of the pieces, so this is the right front.
I'll take a picture of what I can here,
and then this is the left front.
Insert pictures. It looks good. She's only got about a diamond and a half.
Yeah, I just don't know that I will have enough time, you know, to finish it. But
When you
if I-
get closer and closer to the day that you're leaving for vacation, you think of more and more things that you have to
yeah,
do.
so, and then
And she's leaving me on Saturday, just in
I
case you
am,
didn't
and
know.
Bruce said that if weather's okay, stuff, he might even want to leave on Friday night.
That's, wow.
and
He
try-
doesn't usually like to do that.
No, but, you know, we're trying to go to Canada. We want to go to Canada this year, so, you know, we really need to make some serious miles on the first few days of the trip. So we thought if we could leave on Friday and get to Menard, that would knock like 150 miles off. So I don't know, it depends on the weather, if we get rain, you know, if we're too tired and if it's raining or whatever. So I don't know if we will or not. Chances are we won't, but the thought is we are bouncing it around about leaving on Friday. But we won't be able to leave till like 6 o'clock.
She's
So-
still leaving me, whether it's Friday
Yeah,
or
that's
Saturday,
true.
she's still leaving me.
So I'm been having, I really am coming to the realization that I'm too stupid to crochet.
No, because this one looks perfect.
So I've started. I was making this Augusta shawl out of my wool tram yarn, and I know it's wrong, so I need to rip it out. So I didn't want to like be ripping that yarn out because it seems pretty delicate. I
It
mean, it's got,
does.
you know, those strands and they're not twisted together, and I just don't want to be frogging it a lot.
A bunch
So
of
I
times.
went to Hobby Lobby and I got. I had to go get me and Carrie some yarn for our temperature blankets.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I was there, I found this, it's called sugar wheel cotton. And I thought, wow, that is really soft, and it's cotton. So
It is soft.
I grabbed a couple,
It's by
and
Yarn Bee.
I mean, it's so soft. So I started another Augusta shawl, and I have ripped this thing out about 20 times because
But it looks like you finally got it.
maybe.
It is finally the shape and the increases are all right. So
Well,
it's-
Rosanna said last night, you know, when she was talking to us, that I had one too many on one side, but
I
I'm not
think
ripping.
this-
I'm not ripping it
Yeah,
out.
she just has one here from row 2. I see what she's talking about. But don't rip it out.
I'm
I
not.
think it's
I'm not ripping
fine.
it out.
How many Augusta shawls are you gonna make?
So, well, I don't know.
As many as these little containers will hold.
Probably just this one, and then I want to get back to this one. But
With enough practice.
yeah, I just want
I'll
to.
take some
But it's
pictures.
so. I think it's so soft. I mean, it's really, really soft yarn.
While
So-
we're on Augusta shawls, it's one of my whips as well. And I'm dying to get to the first changing color of an orange, and it looks like it's quite a ways away from me.
It really does. I mean, that is a lot of black in there.
And while my numbers match, I kind of feel like I've got like this little manta ray look to the top of it, but I'm hoping that that's just gonna block out.
It will. It's really pretty.
And so I've been working on that. It's not a whole lot, but I've been trying to do a little bit of that in my knitting now.
And then besides the temperature blanket, that's all I've been working on. I mean, I've really been trying to just work on Shannon's sweater for the most part because I just need to get it finished.
I also have my temperature blanket. I'll put some pictures of our temperature blankets in here. I'm only caught up to the 12th of June. I know Darlene is better than that. We're on the 20th today. So I'm, 8 days behind, 8 days behind.
I'm probably about 4 days behind.
But
now.
I usually try and catch up on the weekends and at least do a week's worth or whatever. It's time consuming for me, but hopefully I'll stay caught up. And the only other thing that I'm working on is my sandbank. So right before the rots, I needed something that was just going to be a plain knit. So of course I was taking my mother's socks to work on. And then I thought, well, and I hadn't started Paige's socks yet. I thought, well, let me take my Nuvum. Darlene and I are making a double Nuvum that we started in August of last year while we were at my sister's lake house. Every year we go to my sister's lake house for like a little mini knitting retreat. And that trip is coming up as soon as Darlene comes back from vacation in mid-July. So I thought, well, I'll pull out my my Nuvum and work on that double Nuvum that we started at the retreat last year and work on it so I can work on it again this year. And then I was grabbing everything and I thought, you know what? My sandbank is older than my Nuvum. And I really should work on my sandbank because I started it, I don't know, probably 4 years ago. I don't even know when I started.
It's been a while.
It's been a long
I
time.
frogged mine.
So this is with Miss Babs yarn in the Biker Chick colorway, which I thought was perfect for a rot rally, for a motorcycle rally. And it's a huge Katydin skein, and it's on size 4. I'm on my Haya non-sharp needles because I prefer the non. And I got a nice amount of this done at the rod. I don't know, I didn't mark exactly
Looks
how
good.
much, but I mean, it is all on one cable, so it's kind of hard to stretch it all out, and I'll take the best picture that I can. You can see with the sun behind us that, you know, it's a light lace.
It's very pretty.
And, but it'll be nice and, you know, warm and perfect for this time. So that's the only other thing that I've been working on, is trying to, it's a lot of straight knitting, which I know a lot of people find boring, but I find it very relaxing. So that's the only other whip that I have.
That's all I have. I mean, it's kind of boring podcasting whenever you literally are like being monogamous. You know?
When you're trying to be monogamous. I
When
mean,
you're
I still
trying.
had, you know,
So.
still had a lot. But we do have a, What a Knitter Wants.
We do.
Do you have that? I have the
Yeah,
pattern.
here it is.
It's called Five by Nicola Susan. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. This is the sweater and this is the designer. And I just ran across it recently and I thought, I really want to make that. So I got the pattern, and of course, Darlene, and at first I was ready to buy yarn. I was like, okay, I'm going to make an order. Do you want to do this with me? And I'm going to buy yarn, even though we're on a yarn diet. But we went through our stash and everything, and Darlene has enough yarn for her and me. So I'm the lucky one this time. So I think mine's either going to be green or red, and hers is going to be brown. And I think she's going to try. We're going to try and start tomorrow before she leaves on vacation.
I'm a little bit concerned about this pattern because there's not a lot of information.
She calls it like a freedom thing. She's done this
Maximum
before.
freedom,
Maximum
she says.
freedom. So you can do it with any weight of yarn. You can do it with any size needles. You can do it for any size body. And she has a couple of calculations. You need your bust size. You need your gauge. And I think that's it. And then she has it to where you do something until you've met, you know, bust size divided by 2 plus 14 or something. I don't know. I'm like making that up. But, and then you repeat that until you have this number of stitches, and everything's a calculation. So I have Darlene's bust size, and she's going to give me her gauge tonight, and I'm going to calculate it all out for her and hopefully write it up better. She just has it written out in a nice and generic way, and you kind of just repeat something over and over and over again, then you come back and pick up the sleeves. So I think it's going to be a great pattern. I think it's going to be very easy.
I hope. I mean, because like I say, the lack of instructions has me a little concerned. But
I think it'll be fine. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'll do all that math and stuff tonight. But I'm pretty excited about that. So I can't wait to start that. We'll both be using Volmeise in the lace base.
we will.
And I think that's all I have besides our new cow.
Yeah, and we got some exciting stuff for our new cow.
We do.
I mean, really exciting stuff.
Really exciting stuff. So I've told you guys several times that I like to use high needles, and the sharps are too sharp for me. And I sometimes hostess some cows in the high group. And when you're a hostess for a cow or a designer for a cow, and everything goes well and smoothly, you can earn a set of needles, a needle set. And the Haya group, the people there at the factory or whatever, they'll even laser them, the tips for you. So I'm pretty good friends with the lady there, and when we started this podcast, I asked her if we could have some of these Panda Lee clicks as a giveaway for our viewers, and she said of course, and I just recently got them. So I have 8 of these little pandas, and you click him and his eyes count and do different things, do the different counts. It's so cute, super cute.
It is very,
We have
very
8
cute.
of those to give away, but more exciting, and I'm sorry if this crinkles, I have a set of small needles. It is the non-sharp because, again, I do not care for sharp. If you would like, whoever the winner is, I'll work something out if they prefer a sharp set, and I'll see if I can do something about that. But I had it lasered, Knitter's Got a Knit. So each of the tips are lasered with Knitter's Got a Knit, and we're gonna give away the entire set to a winner for our next cow. And our next cow is going to be Whips, because that's what won in the voting
Good.
survey. So I'm super excited about
I think
this.
that's a great prize.
I think it's a fabulous prize. A whole set of needles. I mean, it comes with 4 cords and size 2 through 8 tips.
And these needles really are amazing.
They really are.
They're-
Even the
they're-
non-sharps are still.
They're still pretty sharp. I
They're still
can't
okay.
tell a lot of difference in them.
So I just don't use the sharp ones because the way that I knit, I seem to always poke myself with them, more so than with the non-sharp. So, so anyway, super excited. This cow is gonna go from July through the end of November. It's gonna be, I think that's 5 months, yeah, 5 months. And then we'll do some random drawings for the Pandalii clicks and the needles. And it's just Whips. So even if you've got something going on right now, don't finish it until July 1st.
Yep.
Just hold on until that day, and then you can enter it and chat it up. And who knows, maybe if we get enough chatter in I'll do one that's just a finished object thread, and I'll do one
And
thread
it's
to
crochet
chat it up.
and crochet also.
Crochet,
Knitting or
knit,
crochet.
yeah, all that. And maybe we'll, even before the end of the cow, we can give away a couple of these Pandalees just for a random drawing of chatters or whatever. So
They're
I think
really
it'll be fun.
cute.
They are cute. They are cute. So I have that whole set ready and waiting. I think that's all we have. Darlene does
all.
not have a shop update because, again,
Oh, yeah, the shop's closed. I closed
she's
it
leaving
this
me.
morning.
Mhm,
I am.
It's closed. She's leaving me.
So,
She is not going to be back until early July. I believe we are going to podcast. We're going to try and podcast on the 11th of July, right after she comes back. She'll probably have tons to tell you about from her vacation. We hit our 1-year podiversary
Oh,
on
did we?
July 8th. We will hit
Oh, we
it.
will, okay.
July 8th
Cool.
will be our 1-year podiversary, so we'll be recording shortly after that. And then I think we go to the lake house on the 13th.
Mhm.
And I think that's it.
I think so.
So I'll get those threads started. I hope somebody wants to win a set of needles, and thanks for checking us out. And we'll see you on the 11th of July.
Bye.
Bye.